There really is peace in keeping some things just between you and God. Not everything needs to be explained. Sometimes silence is sacred. When you stop oversharing, you start overhearing. Your heart, your healing, His voice. There's a calm in not needing to be understood by everyone. It's quiet strength in letting God be the only one who knows the full story. Hello my friends, welcome back to Epoxy Me That. How are you? I hope doing okay, and I want to thank you for showing up today. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Tammy, and today we are going to be using these inlays that I made on my channel a few videos back. I had a couple of my subscribers want to know how to use these real thin inlays that I made. Now, using these aren't any different from any of the other inlays. They're just a little bit thinner. You can use them the same way you use other inlays. But I'm going to go ahead and do a few of them with you, so maybe it will help someone out. I'm going to do 2 using these and these molds, and then I'm going to do 2 keychains using these inlays. I picked these little flowers here, and then I picked the Bible here. And it has the dove and a heart. And then I picked out this beautiful hummingbird. And then over here I picked out this cute Nemo fish right here because we're going to do something really cute with it. I'm going to show you how to really make that cute. So if you'd like to see how I get on with that, kick back, relax, and let's get to it. I have the resin ready. I'm using the Bond Crafter epoxy resin. It has a part A and a part B. I mixed both together for 3 minutes in my Resiner's dual head epoxy mixer. And I've separated it into 2 different cups because when you put it in the Airless Pro bubble remover machine, when the pressure starts pressurizing it, it will make that resin rise to the top of the cup and it will flow over. So I just divide it into 2 different cups so that doesn't happen. So what we're going to do is I'm going to move all these over here and we're going to start with this one. What you don't want to do is you don't want to put this inlay directly on your mold. If you do, it's going to damage your mold. Let me see if I can hold it up and show you, because these are my practice molds, but I had that inlay laying in it, and you can see the damage that it's done to my mold. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's definitely there. It will make the mold. Y'all remember when I do my intoresin molds, and I tell you all that I can't lay it directly on my silicone mat because it'll damage it? Same concept here. You cannot put these little inlays down on your silicone mats or in your molds because it's going to damage them. It's going to damage them. So I wanted to let you know that so you don't do it. Okay? So how we're going to bypass that is I'm going to spritz a little bit of alcohol in my mold there, and that's going to help with the bubbles forming on the edges of the coaster mold and down in the bottom, which will be the top when we demold it. Now we're going to go ahead and pour some of this epoxy resin in there. All we want is a thin layer. We just want to cover the bottom of the mold with that resin. Okay? Now we're going to take that inlay. Let me get some tape and make sure it's clean right quick. Now we're going to take that inlay and we're going to spritz it with some alcohol. And the reason we're going to do that is so hopefully we won't get that many bubbles in it when we place it down in here. Just drop it in there and let it float. Don't push it down. Let it float on top of that epoxy resin. And there's probably going to be some bubbles in it, and that's okay. We can fix those in the next pour. So don't worry about it, because the more you sit there and you try to get those bubbles out, you're pushing the inlay down into the resin, and you don't want to do that. So let the bubbles just stay there, whatever they want to do. Leave them be. We're going to deal with them later. Now, if you can lightly tap it and get them out, or just reach under there and pull them out, then by all means do that, because the less you have, the better off you're going to be. And usually that's what I'll do. I'll take a little stick and reach in there and pull them out. But you have to do it slow, because the more you're whipping in there, you're creating more bubbles. So you have to be slow. Do it really slow. Okay, so I'm going to go around and try to get a few of them out. Okay, this one's ready. I'm going to spritz a little bit of alcohol on there, and it's going to pop those bubbles. Now we're going to move on to the other ones. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to spritz alcohol in the mold. I'm going to pour my resin. And the other two I'm going to do on a time lapse, because you know what I'm doing and you've seen me do it. Okay. Now I'm going to spritz my inlay with some alcohol and go ahead and drop it down in there. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do these two on time lapse, and I'll meet you back. Okay, we're looking good. So I'm going to take my heat gun and I'm just going to run it through there just a little bit, not much. Just to pop those bubbles. And then you want to hold it up and make sure you don't have any pesky bubbles around your edges. And I don't see any in that one. And I see one right there. So I'm just going to scoot it on over, and the alcohol will pop it when we spritz it again. Okay. I can't wait to do this one. I have a really cute idea for this one. So don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss it. Let's check this one. Okay, that looks good. I need to push my fish back a little bit. I want him up against there, right like that. Okay, I'm going to spritz some alcohol to pop into those bubbles. And I'll meet you back for the next step. See you later. We're back, and I got my new mat in. So what do y'all think about the white? Let me know. Do you like the white, the light pink, or should I do a light purple? Light green? I don't know. But I think I'm going to let this one wear out before I buy another one, because 3 mats in the past week, that's $30. Okay. I'll let these fully cure. So what that means is, when we brush in our mica powder, it's not going to want to stick very well, because the resin is fully cured. It's not sticky. And there's our beautiful Hummer. And then let's get this one out. This is our flowers. I'm going to show you how to make some beautiful keychains using these inlays. And there's our flowers. Now this inlay is thinner than these. Remember when I was telling you about this 30A silicone? If you make your inlays yourself, you really ought to think about investing in the 30A silicone, because man, those inlays are super duper strong. I don't care if they're thin. They are really strong. Now this is the 15A by Let's Resin. Right now I'm using the OA, but this was the last of the 15A, I believe. And it's very thin. And there's how that turned out. And I really thought I was going to lose that heart there. See, it's hanging on by a thread. And then here's our little Nemo. Little Nemo. And there's that. Let me show you what I mean. I'm taking this chrome powder by Let's Resin in green, and I'm going to color, let me turn it over, some of the grass. That's a leaf right there. And it's not wanting to stay on there very well. You know, it doesn't look dark like it should. So when we pour our black on there, it's really going to release off of this resin, you know, and come on off of there, and it's not going to leave us very much of that color. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my nail foil glue, and I'm going to create a sticky surface with this. Now you cure this with a UV lamp, and when you cure it with the UV lamp, it makes it sticky, because that's what it does for your nail foils, you know, so that they will stick to whatever. So I'm going to brush this in right quick, cure it with my lamp, and then our powders will stick to it. Now I'm going to take my lamp and I'm going to cure it up, and then that'll create our sticky surface. Okay, I've got all of them ready. And I've chosen 3 of the chameleon powders by Let's Resin: Galaxy, Blue, and Plum. And then I'm using the chrome powder in green by Let's Resin. Now I want you to see how much difference this makes by us putting that foil in there. I want you to see how much darker that colorant is on there now. See the difference? You can go back and rewind it and look at how light it was. And now it's really, really dark, and I'm loving that nice green that we're getting now, because it's got something to hold on to. Okay, now I'm going to put you on a time lapse while I finish brushing my colorants in here. I went ahead and brushed that one in too, because I done it the same way as our bird. Now, if your resin would have been a little bit sticky, then you wouldn't have been able to get a Q-tip and clean around the area. it would have stuck. Everywhere you had some of the flyaways, you wouldn't have been able to get it off. So that's why I let it go ahead and fully cure. Now, this one right here, we're going to do a little bit different. I'm going to take the Galaxy Chameleon Powder, and I'm going to go right in this area. And I'm just going to follow it down. Get this over here again real good. Okay. Now that heart up there, I'm going to use the red chrome powder by Let's Resin. Okay. Now I'm going to take a Q-tip and I'm just going to go around the area and make sure that it's cleaned. Really good. Now I'm going to take my fish here and I'm going to use my chalk marker. And I'm going to draw some bubbles coming from my fish's mouth all the way up to the top of the water. Just like that. And there it is. Then I'm going to use this coral reef down here out of this sticker pack, dimensional sticker pack. I've had these, I love scrapbooking, and I have bukus of this stuff. And it looks really cute in resin. So if you have any scrapbooking things like this, use them in your resin. They're beautiful. Okay, like I said, we're going to take that beautiful coral reef right there. And we're going to add it right down there on the bottom. And then I'm going to take these little Nemo fish here and we're going to add them around the coral reef. Then we're going to take a little jellyfish, just a tiny one, and take it off of here. I'm just going to put one. I'm not going to add any more than that. And we're just going to stick it right up here. Just like that. I have some epoxy resin out here. I'm using the Bond Crafter epoxy resin. It has a part A, which is your resin, and a part B, which is your hardener. I mixed both of them together in my dual head Resiners epoxy mixer for 3 minutes. Now I'm going to take this blue glow powder by Decorum, and we're going to put some in this cup right here, and we're going to make our fish glow blue. So let's get that glow powder stirred up in the resin. Okay. Now the Bible right here, I want the pages to be gold. So I'm going to use this right here. So we're going to put some down in the resin. I'm going to get it stirred up. Now these two right here, what I want to do here is I want to put a little bit of just clear resin in our bird here. And then I want to do the same thing here. And I didn't put any alcohol because it's going to spread our chameleon powders. And we don't want that. So if there were any bubbles left in from the inlay, we're going to try to take care of those right now. And also what this will do is it'll keep those powders from floating on the back of our piece and making our piece look messy and on the back. So I'm just nudging these bubbles and picking them out because I see a few. Now we're going to take our heat gun and we're going to move it over there and pop those bubbles. And then spritz some alcohol. And now we're going to move over to this. And all I'm going to do here is I'm just going to add those gold flakes to the Bible pages. And then we're going to let that cure. Now we got that done. So we're going to let it cure. Now we're going to move over to our fish right here. Now on my fish, I am going to put some alcohol, but what I'm going to do is cover my bubbles because we don't want any bubbles in our fish. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and put this glow powder in our fish. I forgot, we need to add a little bit of resin to that heart. That way it'll lock in that chrome powder and it won't fly up and go anywhere when we do our next pour. Okay? Now, I will see you back when it's time for our next pour. I've got my resin here and it's ready. I have let it sit and degas for 3 minutes, so we're ready to pour. And I used my Mod Podge alcohol ink in black to color it. I just thought I'd save a little time and get it mixed up and ready to pour. Okay, so we're going to be coloring all of these in this black. I hope I mixed up enough. We don't need a lot. Just enough to make sure you can see the inlay and everything that's going on. I don't have a lot of room on this one. Those keychains right there, they aren't very deep. Now this one right here, some of that colorant flew over here and I didn't want it to show up when I put the black on there. So I took my little snippers here and I tried to snip it out. So I'm hoping we don't see that on the other side. But if we do, I wanted to let you know. That was why. What I am going to do, though, I don't want to spray alcohol all in there. I'm going to get some on this, and I'm going to dab some right there. And now I'm going to go ahead and pour, so hopefully we won't get any holes from the bubbles in that area. Okay. Now, let's see if I have enough for this one. I might have to mix up some more anyway. I don't know if we're going to make it, my friends. I'm going to use my heat gun. Try to get that resin moving around. See if I won't have to make any more. I'm going to mix up a little bit more and go ahead and put more in there because, yeah, we're going to need a little bit more in that one. And I'm going to go ahead and put some more in this one. But I'll meet you back when it's time to demold. See you later. Are y'all ready to take these out and have a look-see? Here we go. Let's start with this one. This is the hummingbird. I think. Yeah. Alright. You ready? Oh, it's beautiful. Look at that. Isn't that so pretty? Alright. Now let's look at this one. Let me see, which one is this? No, this is the next one. Should be the flowers going across. Make sure. Yeah, okay. I wanted to keep them in order. I don't know why. I just did, y'all, okay? You ready? Ooh, that's pretty. Look at that. Now you would want to dome this. But you know what I noticed? And I'm trying to think of a way we could come up with getting rid of it. Let me show you what I'm talking about. And I'm working on a way to fix it. We can't put resin in there to fix it because there's only a little bit of room to work with in there. Trying to think. Anyway, let me go ahead and show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to put it up against this black so maybe you can see it. During the manufacture of this acrylic piece right here, I guess they broke them off of each other and it left these little rings right here. There's one there, one there, one there, and there, and there. So it comes off in your piece. See? Right there, right there, and right there. And the rest of them really aren't visible. And like I said, it doesn't bother me, but it may bother some people. But what you could do to fix it is grab like a little stone or something, is what I would do if it bothers you. And take that stone and slide it right over that area. And all it's going to do is add cuteness to your piece. So there's something on my tweezers. Okay, let's flip that over. Then you could take like a smaller stone and put it in the center of your flowers. Oops, one of them fell. But you could do it like that, or you could lose those and just use the ones that those little pieces are showing. You could just do it like that. However you want to do it. I was just showing you a way that you could hide it if it bothers you. Okay, on to the next one. You ready? I want to see how our Bible pages turned out. I'm super excited. Oh my goodness, that's beautiful. Look at that. That is gorgeous. I absolutely love that piece. So pretty. Yes, I'm going to top coat this, and I'm keeping this on my keychain. This is beautiful. Okay, let's get on to the next one. This is our fish, and I'm really excited to see how this one turned out too. It's not, I don't guess it's fully cured. I mean, it's fully cured, but it's a little soft. But this is just a practice piece, so it'll be all right. I'm just showing y'all what ways you can use the inlays. All right, you ready? Oh, that's cute. But look, my little thing's messed up here when I was squirting that alcohol. But we could fix it on the top layer, and it would really give them a 3D look. Because some of the bubbles will be on that bottom layer, and some will be on the top layer. And then look at how our coral turned out down there. And then our little Nemos. And then our fish. Now, let me show you on our fish what this is and what happened. But I think it's really cool. You see, right here, there was a bubble. And that resin filled the bubble up. But I think it makes the fish look really cool. So, I don't think it takes away from it at all. You see those little spots right there in the fish? That's just where there was bubbles at. And we couldn't see them. So, the next layer filled up those bubbles. And that's all that is. Which I think it's super cool looking, you know. But that turned out so cute. So here they are. And that's just several ways you can use the inlays. So I hope this helped someone out. You definitely want to top coat these, you know. I'm going to be top coating that one and finishing it off because I definitely want that for my keychain. It turned out really pretty. And I might go ahead and finish that one off too. And this is so cute. Let me put it in the dark and we'll see the fish glow. And there's our fish glowing. It's so cute. I love it. Isn't that neat? I absolutely love that fish coaster. Think about how cute that would be if you made a set of them. It'd be super cute. Of course, you'd need to get several of the coral reefs, so you'd have to buy several packs of those for 4 or 5 coasters, how many ever you're going to make as a set. But you could catch them 50% off, too, at Hobby Lobby, and they'd be super cheap. Well, I hope you enjoyed this, and like I said, I hope it helped someone out using your inlays. And it's about that time, my friends, for a sweet goodbye, and I will see you in the next video. God bless you. Goodbye, my friends.